Welcome to a deeper dive with hosts Ernest and Jacinta Cooper, as they delve into the topics from this week's episode of What It Takes, Making Marriages Last.
Welcome to What It Takes, a deeper dive with your hosts Ernest and Jacinta Cooper.
Good evening.
On Sunday, we discuss 5 topics our guests have used to sustain their marriage. A deeper dive drills down into each one of these topics per day.
This week's featured couple is Ernest and Jacinta Cooper. That's us. The top 5 topics are communication, finance, humor, integrity, and friendship. Today's topic is integrity.
Integrity is a cornerstone of healthy and lasting relationships. It involves being honest, transparent, and consistent in your actions and words. Some key aspects of integrity that we're going to discuss tonight or today are honesty, consistency, transparency, respect, accountability, and fairness. By embodying these principles, you can create a strong foundation for a relationship built on trust and mutual respect. But before you can have integrity in a relationship, you have to have integrity as an individual. What are your morals? How ethical are you? How honest are you? How consistent and transparent are you as an individual? How trustworthy are you? Do you take credit or do you give credit where credit is due? Also key to integrity in marriage is not compromising yourself or your marriage or your relationship, and having core values that guide you. Let's dive into each one of these topics I can stop tripping over my tongue. All right, so the first one is honesty. Being truthful with your partner about feelings, thoughts, and actions. That builds trust and prevents misunderstandings. Is it ever okay to lie?
No. I think you can tell the truth with tenderness and with grace. But when you do lie, you set yourself up where everything else that you said can be questioned if you lie. So
true. And if you lie about the little things, you'll lie about the big things. And omissions to deceive are also lies. So just because you didn't say it doesn't mean you didn't lie. Right. But I think there are cases when omissions to save feelings or to keep someone secret, those are ethical in omissions. So I think those are okay. What do you think about that?
The first thing I want to hear is an example.
Well, if you don't share, so an ethical omission for keeping someone's secret, you're not telling someone told you something in confidence.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if it's a secret or if it's something personal or confidential, then I understand that. Yes, I could see that.
Right. So
yes.
I was using a point of clarification because I said omissions are lies, right? But not all omissions are lies because some things are ethical omissions. So sparing someone's feelings, you don't have to say everything. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, some people like to say, well, I'm just brutally honest. And I don't think you should always use the same tool for every situation. There are times and places where brutal honesty is necessary, but it's not all the time. I think that's where discernment would come in, and you have to really, if you want to be brutally honest, you really need to be thoughtful about how you're going to share that. Don't just blurt out something.
Right. Yep. And then, I was going to go back to the point of if you lie about something little, you'll lie, if you lie about the small things, you'll lie about the large things. I dated this guy. It's been years now. But he used to tell little lies. And I used to always say to him, if you lie about the little things, you'll lie about the big things. So it turns out he was one of the biggest liars I ever dated. And then when I found out all of his lies and I detailed them, he's like, "You're so intelligent. I'm surprised it took you that long." It's like, what? So he had no integrity, and I should have taken a clue, a hint when he was lying about the little things. So just being honest all the time is very, 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 very important. Yeah. Then the next thing is consistency, aligning your actions with your words. When you make promises, keep your promises.
Mhm.
It shows reliability and builds confidence in the relationship.
Mhm.
And you can't compartmentalize integrity.
Okay. What do you mean?
I mean, either you have integrity or you don't. You can't sometimes say, okay, well, this time I'm gonna compromise my integrity. And then other times you're like, oh, I have so much integrity. As soon as you compromise your integrity, you become a person who lacks integrity, in my opinion. So you have to be consistent in all things.
Okay, I agree.
You,
I buy into that.
you buy into it. Okay. All right. Do you have anything else on the consistency point?
For the consistency, no, that captures what I believe.
All right. The next one I have is transparency.
Mhm.
Openly sharing important information and being clear about your intentions. This helps in avoiding secrets and fostering a sense of security. So if someone is transparent with you, you can be transparent with them, or you feel more comfortable being transparent with them. And share everything with your partner to build and maintain a trustworthy environment. Is there anything you wouldn't share with me or you feel like should not be shared in a marriage?
There are things that I know I've kept to myself. But I feel like when the time is right or when the time is appropriate, I share if I feel like sharing it, but I don't share everything. But if it's something that I think needs to be shared,
Right.
Or something we need to talk about, then, I might be uncomfortable, but part of transparency and truthfulness is sharing things sometimes you're a little uncomfortable about. But it's just we have to have conversations, and it might not be the first time we talk about it just right out. It's just like, hey, I'm kind of struggling with something,
Right.
and I don't know how to talk about it.
Right. So certainly timing is everything,
Mhm.
especially with your feelings. And we talked about that a bit.
Yeah, because if I'm feeling
Yeah.
vulnerable, that's a tough one. So
Right. And another thing is you don't have to share every little detail with your partner, right? Not,
Right.
Like, do you really want to know? I had, two spears of asparagus. And,
no, yeah.
you
You don't need
mashed
line item
potatoes.
detail for every single
What-
issue.
Right.
Big
Oh,
picture's okay for
right.
some things. so.
Right. And then the other thing is, I think for me, if I'm feeling how they like to say some type of way,
Mhm.
you don't always have to share that.
Mhm.
Some things you can work through internally
Mhm.
and not have to share with your partner.
Mhm.
That's just the way I feel like some things may cause more, not damage, but may cause a bigger issue than
Mhm.
just keeping
Then
just keeping it to yourself. Because then
Right.
you have to have a whole conversation and you got
Mhm.
to talk about your feelings, and maybe it's not really something that needs to get discussed.
Mhm.
So I don't think you're not being transparent in that situation.
Mhm.
I think it's more about you being wise in the way that you're sharing your information.
Mhm.
But as far as transparency goes, it's the overall spirit of transparency, I think, that you're willing to share anything, that you don't have a deceitful heart and you're not trying to hold something, back from your partner.
Yeah, well, transparency for me, it actually falls under honesty.
Hmm.
I know you broke it out. I kind of put it in the same group because I think they go hand in hand. Truthfulness, honesty. I think those are like the foundation for integrity. So
Absolutely. Anything else with transparency?
no, I'm good.
All right. The next one is respect.
RESPECT.
RESPECT. Valuing your partner's opinions, feelings, and boundaries. Respect is fundamental to maintaining mutual admiration and a healthy dynamic.
Mhm.
And one of the things is respect that circle of trust that you have for your
Circle of Trust.
Circle of Trust. What was that movie?
Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, Meet the Fockers.
Greg, get out of the Circle of Trust.
Yeah, but respect the circle of trust for your marriage, for your family. You want to keep things close to your vest when it comes to your relationship. And yeah, we're out here on the world wide web
But
sharing.
you notice we're not sharing very specific things that we go through. We're just talking about things in general and tools and processes that we use to work through our situation. So You know, I'm not going to put our business out on the internet,
Right.
but I will share processes that we've used to help us work through
Right. Or give very
issues.
generic stories. I didn't give any names about the liar.
Yeah, he knows who he is.
He knows who he is. If he hears it, then he knows what he did. Yeah, but anyway. But yeah, see, you want to just maintain your privacy and protect your relationship.
I mean, but treating others with dignity, showing empathy, and kindness,
Mhm.
that's just a healthy relationship that creates a healthy environment. And you know, who wants to be in a relationship where you don't feel like they honor or they respect you or they show any value or they feel that you're worth anything? You Who wants that? I mean, you want to feel valuable in your relationship. So
Right. And my little humorous point got skipped over, so I'm gonna say it anyway. Related to the circle of trust,
mhm,
what happens at the Coopers stays at the Coopers.
indeed.
All
Indeed. Yes.
right. Anything else with respect?
I think I'm good.
All right. The next one is accountability.
Mm.
And we said that goes hand in hand with responsibility. So take responsibility for your actions and their impact on your partner.
Mhm, mhm,
This includes admitting mistakes and working to make amends. And a couple of things. One thing is important, just protecting the relationship and being each other's like iron sharpens iron is
Mhm.
what comes to mind with accountability, you
mhm,
know, and always looking out for each other and holding each other accountable,
mhm,
you know, and improving and growing together.
mhm,
And that's a way to stay accountable and surrounding yourself with people who keep you accountable.
mhm,
Yep, and check you and support you on your integrity, you know,
mhm.
not people that are going to be, you know, cause you to have a slippery slope
Right.
when it comes to integrity.
Yeah, I think with accountability, I think mistakes are inevitable, or you might make a bad choice here and there, and you have to be ready to deal with the consequences. So you know, just like, hey, look, you know what, I messed up. This is what happened. I had these two options to do something. I looked at this, I looked at that. It didn't play out the way I thought, and here we are. You know, the thing is I think people can appreciate when someone is faces adversity and they're just straight up. They're just straight up like, you know, it didn't play out the way I thought it would. And you know, but I did the best that I could. So, you know, what are we going to do from here? Or this is what I propose. What do you think? You know, so because it's going to happen. You know, we're not robots, we're not God. So, you know, the thing is, you know, we need to figure out how we're going to work through things when they don't don't go as planned. So
Yep. Anything else on accountability?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you for being my accountability partner.
Partner. Yes. Yes.
And the last one we have is fairness.
Mhm.
So I read an article in Psychology Today, 10 core values to guide behavior. And it talked about fairness. Fairness involves treating others equitably, justly, and without bias. And it goes on to say fairness is important in promoting trust, cooperation, and social harmony. And you can promote fairness by acknowledging and challenging personal biases.
Mhm.
And these are good. Make just and equitable decisions,
Mhm.
stand against discrimination and injustice, and encourage diverse viewpoints and treat all individuals with respect and equity. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, so I can even give an example. So with fairness, like when you're making decisions, you want them to be, you want your decisions to be fair. And what is fair? So you want it to be based on something. Is it based on merit, or is it based on some type of objective criteria you all put in place? So if you all are, you know, when you get married and you're bringing everything together, you all are going to have some debt. Like, how are y'all going to tackle that debt? Like, you know, what objective criteria you're going to have in place to get that to reduce it so that you can retire? Like, if you're that's something that we're working through. Again, I'm not going through line item detail, but you know, you need to have objective criteria, not like, well, I need to pay mine first and then I'll get to yours, or because I make this and you do that. No, that I think that can create a rift. I think you need to really sit down and talk through Like, what's the best way to do this? Do your research, come to a consensus, to some happy medium, and then work from there. So,
And fair doesn't always mean equal.
right. Okay. No, yes. Okay. I receive that.
Yeah.
I receive that.
Yeah. I think about that meme where
The boxes, and they show three people on it looking
Right.
over a fence. One is tall, one is short, one is kind of middle sized.
right. Yeah.
Is that, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
so if they're standing flat on the ground, that's equality because everybody gets a view to the game because it's like they're at the game.
Well, but the short person wouldn't be able to see it.
Well, but they all have the same access.
Okay.
But then that's equality. Then it's what's the next level? I'm probably mixing up the levels, but then there's a level.
I know, I remember the three
Right.
boxes. I can't
Right.
remember it off the top of my head.
I'm gonna have to put that up on the screen
Yeah.
after the fact. But then the next level is the one where each of them gets a box
Mm-hmm.
that allows them to be at the same height to be able to see over the fence, So people like to argue that, oh, everybody got a ticket to the game, but can they all see?
Right, can they see?
You
I mean,
know,
the
so-
thing is you
so-
want what's the goal? You
Right.
want to enjoy the game. So,
right. So that's why I say fairness isn't always about equality.
hmm
And another thing that stood out here, stand against discrimination and injustice. So, but in a marriage, you have to stand against injustice against your partner,
Mhm.
against discrimination against your partner, against boundary crossings against your partner,
Mhm.
against assaults against your partner, whether your partner is with you or not. And I mean, physically where you are or not, just defending your partner,
Mhm.
that facilitates fairness in the relationship. I think.
hmm Yeah, and well, that actually makes me think of courage.
Mhm.
It's easy to have courage when it's an easy or popular decision, but what happens when it's difficult and not popular? So the thing is if you just because it's difficult and not popular doesn't mean it's wrong. For example, Colin Kaepernick with his kneeling during football games. There was a lot of uproar about that, but I mean, it was a peaceful protest. Yeah, I mean, it was just a peaceful protest, and all he wanted to do was people to be treated fairly. That's it. And but it was very unpopular. And in my opinion, it definitely cost him his career. But he was courageous. So, but that bringing it back to our marriage, the thing is you might have friends or outsiders telling you certain things about, don't let your marriage do this, or don't let this happen, or don't let it change you, and all of that. Those things will come up. But listen, you can't listen to outsiders. You can't let that element come into your marriage. Your marriage is just for you and your spouse. The outsiders, they might be well-meaning, but they don't know line item details about what you're going through. So, they'll have some things to say, and it might work for them, but we're talking about us, or you're talking about you and your spouse. So,
Well, there are no cookie cutter relationships. So,
Exactly.
You can't use a script and say, here, take this and
Right,
make
yeah.
it work. You can have guidelines, but
right.
every relationship is different. But getting back to the make just and equitable decisions. So just like you have to defend your partner when when your partner is not around, you also have to make good decisions when they're not around, when they impact the unit, the marital unit.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
They will.
Right.
Right.
So, just always keeping your partner in mind is exhibiting fairness in your marriage.
Agreed.
Anything else you have, husband?
I don't want to.
Well, that brings us to the end of our segment on integrity.
hmm
Thank you for viewing, and thank you for hanging with the Coopers.
And remember to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Oh, you
Yes.
can't see my finger pointing down. Oh, there it is. Like
There
and
we go.
subscribe. Like and subscribe. Take care.
Peace.